Hey everybody, welcome to The Trench. My name is Christian, and what we love matters. Okay, so before we get into anything this week, I have an announcement. This is the last episode of The Trench. Ever. Well, maybe not ever. We might do some important episodes here and there, mini-series on certain topics, but as far as making this a weekly thing, this is the last go at that. So first of all, thank you. Thank you to everyone who has continually watched and supported this little project. Thank you for everyone who has left comments on the videos or who has sent emails to me. They've actually really meant a lot, and I'm very grateful. And I also want to thank my wonderful wife, who has been my best supporting actress in so many episodes of The Trench. And while I am sad to see this project coming to a close, I do hope that it has been at least marginally helpful to those of you who have checked in. At the heart of every episode of The Trench has actually been a very simple question. What is it that we actually love? Do we truly love the Lord? Do we lay down our lives in service to other people? Or do we actually love ourselves, seeking fulfillment in our accomplishments, in our stuff, and in our own lives? And at the center of this question of love is a presupposition that what we love actually guides our lives, that it orients our way of being in the world. For what we truly love is what we truly worship. As human beings who are made in the image of a God who is love and whose actions are motivated by love, it stands to reason that at the center of what it is to be human is this issue of love. What we love matters. This is why Christ says that the greatest commandments are to love God and to love other people. He says that where our treasure is, that is, what we love, that's where our heart will be. And when we say the heart, it's important that we understand that we're not just talking about emotions. We're talking about the center of the human being, the part of the human that drives us toward what we worship and toward what we love as ultimate. The heart is deep and its desires are not always known to us, causing our loves to operate within us often below the level of our conscious awareness. You see, the heart is distinct from the mind, from our thoughts. So there can be a disconnect between what we love and what we believe or think. In other words, we may not love what we think we love. In fact, with Christmas approaching, I've had to deal with this harsh reality myself. Until recently, I thought I knew the answer to the question, what is the reason for the season? But if you ask me now, it's likely that my mind and my heart will give you two different answers. I mean, I know in my mind that the reason for the season is Jesus, and I thought that I was down with that until I realized something. This year, Christmas is on a Sunday. Now I know this doesn't sound like a big deal, but normally my parish celebrates the Christmas liturgy on Christmas Eve. That way people have Christmas morning to do their holiday festivities. Family, brunch, presents, you know the drill. One such tradition in my family is that my daughter and I go get donuts on Christmas morning. And since we normally don't eat donuts throughout the year, this is a pretty big deal for us that we look forward to every year. But with liturgy being on Sunday morning this year, I realized that this meant no donuts. And not only does liturgy mean no donuts, it also means that we have to push back Christmas brunch and presents until the afternoon. I was upset to say the least. I couldn't believe that instead of eating donuts and feasting all day in my pajamas, I was gonna have to spend Christmas morning hungry and wearing pants. That is not what Christmas is about. But the most embarrassing part of this whole thing is that at one point I even suggested to my wife that maybe we didn't need to go to church on Christmas morning. After all, we didn't want celebrating Christmas to get in the way of celebrating Christmas. So by now I'm sure that you can see what I'm getting at. What I love about Christmas is different from what I think about Christmas. Sure, I believe in my mind that we should keep Christ in Christmas, but my heart seems to feel that that's only true so long as he doesn't interfere with donuts, brunch, and presents. What I truly love has been revealed through this conflict between Christ and my Christmas celebrations. Our hearts are frequently co-opted by rival loves, by kingdoms that oppose the kingdom of God. Sure, we may believe in God, but what we really want may be something completely different. And because our hearts and minds are distinct, our loves can actually be shaped in ways we aren't consciously aware of. Philosopher James K.A. Smith talks about this in his book, You Are What You Love. Smith believes that our loves are shaped unconsciously through our participation in various cultural rituals, things that he calls secular liturgies that aim our love in directions that oppose our love for God. One such example for Smith is the shopping mall. He writes, "The local mall is actually one of the most religious sites in town, but not because it is preaching a message or touting a doctrine, but in its rituals. The mall doesn't care what you think, but it is very much interested in what you love. The architecture of the building has a recognizable code that makes us feel at home no matter what city we're in. How do we learn to be consumerists? Not because someone comes along and offers an argument for why stuff will make me happy. I don't think my way into consumerism. Rather, I'm covertly conscripted into a way of life because I have been formed by cultural practices that are nothing less than secular liturgies, and by our immersion in them, albeit unwittingly, we are being taught what and how to love. Donuts, brunch, and presents begin to set up a rival kingdom in my heart, bidding me to love them because they're all a part of this particular liturgy that surrounds Christmas for me. Our loves can be easily directed at lesser versions of the kingdom, but if we are going to be people who love Christ, people who love the Lord above all else, then we need to become aware of the various cultural liturgies that we immerse ourselves in, because we may be shocked to find that we don't always love what we think we love. So while I'm sad to be saying goodbye to this series, and I pray that these meditations have been useful to any of you who have watched or listened, I leave you with one question. What do you really love? Do you love Christ? Do you love yourself? Do you love your stomach or sleep or sports? My guess is that each of us is immersed in some struggle against a kingdom that rivals the kingdom of God. But as we move toward Christmas, as we prepare our hearts for the entrance of the King, for the coming of Christ, we are presented with a good time to ask ourselves these hard questions. If we are going to be formed into people who love Jesus, then we need to choose him. We need to choose him on Christmas morning when donuts are on the line. And we need to choose him on Sunday, even when the Cowboys are playing. We need to choose him even when we don't want to. In choosing him, we may actually stand a chance of growing to love him. But if we never choose him, then we'll never love him. And if we don't love him, then he can't be our king, because we will be too busy trying to be our own kings. So join me in these last days before Christmas. Join me as we say goodbye to the trench, as we turn together toward Christ, by celebrating Christmas, as we commend our entire life to God, and by making room in our hearts to receive Christ the King. So join the fight. Live orthodoxy. Remember to like and subscribe, and join the rest of us inside the trench. And Merry Christmas. And I know you probably all wondered, does he wear pants when he films? You've all wondered it. Admit it. Admit that you wondered it. That is the big question, is does he wear pants? And the answer today is goodbye.